The Sex Ed with Tim podcast is recorded on the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. We acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13, signed with the Mississaugas of the Credit, and the Williams Treaty, signed with multiple Mississaugas and Chippewa bands.
You're listening to Sex Ed with Tim.
Hello and welcome to the Sex Ed with Tim podcast. I'm your host, Tim, certified sex educator. I identify as a chaotic homosexual, and I am always so hungry. It's a good thing I'm part of the LGBT community, which I guess stands for Let's Get Burgers Tonight. Yay! That was one of my worst dad jokes that I've said in the history of the show. I know. Tomatoes, boo, yuck.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your support, Jen and Steph. Those two lovely laughs that you hear on the other end of the mic are none other than Jen and Steph PageWise from Enchanted Awakenings. Jen and Steph, how are you doing? Hear the stadium roar.
We are so fantabulous.
Here
We're fabulous.
at Madison Square Garden. Oh my goodness, I am so happy to have you both here on the show. But before we have our little kiki, how about you tell the big audience here at Madison Square Garden about yourselves?
Would you like to begin, my dear?
Sure. Well, I'm Jennifer. I am one half of the tag team here of Jennifer and Stephanie PageWise. And we are quantum relationship coaches. And, we work with the LGBT community to help them have the most amazing relationships in life. And it's not just about romantic relationship. It's about relationship with themselves and relationship with everybody in their lives. So that's what we do. And we love what we do.
I love that you do that. And I love that it's specifically for LGBT people. Straight people have it rough enough as it is. They do not need love. I don't know whatever it is that they say. but that's really cool that you do that. But you dropped the word there. I'm a little curious. Quantum relationships. What exactly is quantum? Because I'm thinking like physics, like the stars or stuff.
Mm-hmm. A little bit.
A little bit?
Yeah, a little bit.
Let me know. What is it? What is a quantum relationship coach?
Well, we do bring metaphysics into the work that we do. It's very spiritual, but it's also very earth-based. It is really fifth dimensional love. It goes beyond this physical world, and it's creating holy relationships. And those are relationships where we awaken to our true self, our true soul level self, where we are able to be exactly who we were born to be on this planet. And we believe, and we've experienced ourselves, that in relationship is where we are shown all of the places that we still need to heal and can do that healing. So within the dyad of our marriage, our relationship, we have found that by bringing in spirituality and working on ourselves and our relationship, we're able to really find who we truly are. The metaphysical part is really New Age spirituality, which I don't even like using that word New Age because it's ageless.
Oh,
this is the spirituality of Jesus.
Aww.
And the spirituality of the Buddha and the spirituality of the Essenes. And now it's the spirituality of the cutting edge of the human race.
And the spirituality of queer people. Because let's be clear here, folks. We are magical. We are just brimming with energy. That's why they give us the rainbow, because we're colorful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So hearing that description, I'm going to be honest. I am a little averse and cynical to anything that is like very new agey and holistic, mainly because I'm a recovering Catholic. So I've got some trauma
Understood.
to unpack there, right? So,
Right.
what are some of the techniques that you integrate in your practice as quantum relationship coaches that make it quote unquote quantum?
Well, we really start with that work towards authentic self and getting through all of the trauma and all of the conditioning that's happened here on planet Earth that's made us forget exactly who we are. So we do trauma work. We use polyvagal theory, which is the vagus nerve is one of the largest nerves in our body outside of the spinal cord. And we have different techniques that we use to help people reset their nervous system so that when they react to stressors in the world, which oftentimes our partners are stressors, or we're responding to things that are really our trauma history. And so we are able to help people reset their nervous system and be able to calm back down and react or interact with their loved ones from a place of calm, cool, collected, rather
Instead of triggered.
right.
And normally when we're triggered, the thing about being triggered is we're normally not triggered by the act that we're currently dealing with. It's something that happened in the past with a previous relationship or society conditioning us. It could be like in our community, it's homophobia. It is the problems that we've had with basic in the box religion. And as you say, you're a recovering Catholic. We have many people who have had trauma by the church, whether it be the Catholic Church, whether it be Judaism, because I was raised in Judaism, so we have a lot of folks who have been traumatized based on the fact that we aren't accepted in the LGBT community in religion. And so how do we heal from that so we can move forward? So that's what we do. We help people heal from those past hurts so they can move forward and have happy, healthy, holy relationships.
But I don't want a happy, healthy, holy relationship. I want to be in a toxic one.
Oh, great. You are one. You're a party of one.
I don't know too many that want that.
Yes, please bring me some more trauma.
Am I the drama?
I could just
Am I the
see you. What's the app that you swipe with? I just can't
Tinder?
even imagine. Sign up here for more trauma.
Sign up here for more toxicity in my life.
Literally, just in neon signs. Give me someone who has mommy issues. I can fix him. I promise.
Oh my gosh.
And we spend our lives trying to fix other people, right?
Well, but we also tend to be looking for people to heal our own wounds. So how many times have we been together with someone? It's like, oh my God, she reminds me of my mother.
Oh my God, she reminds me of my father.
No.
Right?
And it's totally creepy.
It's very creepy.
Oh, get your head out of the bedroom, Mr. Sex Coach.
I know. Y'all are just reading me to filth, like, as if you've known my entire dating history. I'm just like, ew.
See, we might be onto something here.
Truly. That's why I'm still single. I just keep repeating the same toxic behaviors.
The patterns.
Same patterns.
The patterns. And
that's
until
what
we
we
look
know.
at them, we don't even understand them. And then once we look at them and start to love ourselves in spite of that stuff, it's like, oh, I understand why I'm doing this. Well, let me take care of me and figure this out a little bit more and love myself to heal those wounds so that when I find the next person, I'm not going to put up with the same bullshit. But, you won't put up with that same bullshit and you'll just be like, oh, yeah, no, red flag, yeah, go. No more.
Get out of here.
Get done. And
I'm
so,
not doing this again.
I mean, I don't know how it's been in your relationships, but so often we see, especially in the lesbian community, where, what's the joke? What do you bring on your first date?
A U-Haul?
Toothbrush.
Oh,
No,
The second
that's
date.
the second
That's
date.
the second
Oh, maybe your community's a little bit even speedier than ours.
right, because
But ours
you get a
is
U-Haul to
first
move
date is
out.
toothbrush. Oh, we took the U-Haul to move in.
That's the difference between the lesbians and the gays.
You know, if that's what it is. Oh my gosh. How did you two meet? Oh, he helped me move out of my last boyfriend's apartment.
Yeah, exactly. Ethically,
I hired him as my mover. Oh.
And then my next boyfriend after that was my contractor. Then the next one was the real estate agent.
There you go.
There you go.
Serial monogamy at its best.
Serial monogamy. Oh my god. The only cereal I am is whole wheat because I have a fiber thing going on in my gut right now. Get it?
Not going to be talking about that anymore.
No. My digestive system keeps me from bottoming. No. So this is actually a fascinating conversation because as a sex educator, my whole focus is mainly on the physical stuff, whereas your practice, both of you, is the more emotional intimacy. And whenever I hear emotional intimacy, I'm just like, ugh, gross. My favorite pride flag color is red flag. Oh, yes. So, like, I'm pretty sure that you guys weren't, like, always in this, like, sort of balanced kind of relationship. And then I can see from the camera that it looks so healthy and balanced and just so unified. What was, like, the procedure to get there? What were the steps and the obstacles that you had to overcome?
Falling apart. Yeah. 100% falling apart.
Hitting the rock bottom for both of us, individually and together. Yeah, it was an ugly time. Jennifer and I met, were we going on 14 years now?
We're going on 14 years almost.
Congrats!
Yep. And
wow.
Thank you. But there was a pause in there. So it's 14 minus 2.5.
Yeah, so 6 years in, our relationship just fell apart, and Stephanie's like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I'm out of here.
Yeah. When we first got together, I mean, we were both very much looking for an equal partner, and I had a list of rules and deal breakers. It was like 12 things long. It's like, must not smoke, must like to do things outside, must this, must that. And,
no heavy drinker.
Right.
No, none of this.
And she met the criteria. And we had, we're
both educated, so
we're balanced intellectually, emotionally, things were good. But then a year in, Jennifer had a surgical mishap that grounded her. So she could no longer work. She had been a very, very successful manager at the local housing authority, had built a huge department, brought in millions of dollars a year in grants, all that stuff. She was a single mom. And now all of a sudden, she's in extreme pain. She has no job. She can barely parent our son, who was 6 years old at the time. And it was terrible. And she shut down.
And Stephanie was only 1 year out of grad school. So she was just starting her career.
Right.
Wow.
So
life was just like piling on one shit on top of the other.
Oh, gosh, was it a pile of shit. And, I shoveled as quickly as I could, but I just could not keep up with it. And an ex-partner of mine used to call it shoveling shit against the tide. And the tide won. And so after 6 years, I had tried every intervention that I could think of to pull her out of her funk and to stay balanced myself. But let's face it, I came into it with codependence. And, wanting to save her and, be all that she needed and all that stuff. So I got buried
superhero complex,
in being
right?
what she needed. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
She had quite the superhero costume.
Total. I bedazzled it and everything, But I after 6 years, I was spent. There was nothing left. And so we parted ways. It was not pretty. We didn't hate each other, but it was definitely not, it wasn't a proud moment in my life. I'll say that.
And, we decided, that no matter what, we were still going to co-parent. Because at this point, 6 years in, I mean, Stephanie was my son's other mother. And so we continued to co-parent the best that we could. And that was like really the only thing we ever talked about. When are you picking up the kid? When are you bringing him home? How was your visit? What do I need to know?
Oh, that sounds so mechanical and like devoid of
It
any
was.
emotional. Oh my God.
It had to be.
Yeah. I mean, there was so much resentment and anger under the surface, but
From
she
both
didn't.
of us.
She didn't deserve my resentment and anger. She was trying to heal, so it wasn't. That was mine to deal with. So I dealt with it, and I'm sure she had a lot on her own side, and of course I had guilt. And did you have guilt?
Oh, I had terrible guilt
Yeah.
because I went into the relationship as, career oriented, holding my own. And now for 5 of those years, I could barely get out of bed, so
because
it
of
was
your
not a proud
health,
moment
yeah.
in my life.
Yeah.
And I just let that then affect my emotional being, my spiritual being. I fell apart. And, sometimes that's what needs to happen to pick up the pieces.
Yeah. You really
You
have
need
to get
go
to
through
that
the
bottom.
ringer, huh? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Just like, folks that are in a 12-step program will say they had to hit rock bottom. Well, we had to hit rock bottom in our relationship.
And personally. I was personally very lost. I also turned 45 at that time. And I had this moment around my birthday that said, if my next 45 years look like this, it is not worth it.
I don't want it. Hard pass.
I don't. Yeah. And so I started really thinking, okay, what do I want? What needs to change? And a few months later, our relationship fell apart because I knew that the way that I was in the relationship was not good for my long-term health. It wasn't good for hers either.
Right.
But I could only see me at that point. So we split up and we were separate. And I have always been a spiritual seeker and very much focused. And my spirituality, it started out as religion. I was raised in a Protestant faith, and I was hook, line, and sinker when I was a little kid. I loved going to church. It was my safe place. My family had a lot of chaos in it. I was the only daughter with 3 siblings, and church was very much my safe place. So I loved it. I loved going there. I loved seeing people. I loved connecting with people. So it was good for me. But as I got towards, senior high school, in my senior year, I remember very vividly the pastor reading from one of the dogma books of the congregation. And I was like, I don't agree with that. I don't understand how that is in that book. Because that's condescending. That's saying that somebody doesn't matter. And that's not okay. That's, you're taking a group of people and saying that they're not okay. I disagree completely. And so that was the beginning of me moving away from organized religion. And I've always very much connected with the earth and I just feel that there's so much aliveness in nature. And I feel my own aliveness when I'm in nature. So I spent many years studying Buddhism and Taoism and other nature spiritualities, but that wasn't part of our relationship because Jennifer was raised Jewish and was very committed to her Judaism. And I supported her and I would go, but it just never touched me.
Right.
And so it wasn't something that connected us. And after we broke up, I found a more metaphysical practice. It's really earth spirituality. It's energetic spirituality. It's what Einstein studied when he found the God particle. There is intelligence in the smallest of particles. So what the heck is that? There's something more than us on the planet or in the cosmos. And I was just so connected.
That's so intimately like I don't even have the words for it because you were talking about nature and I'm like, the only nature religion I believe in comes in the form of a joint. So like that's my that's my thing on it.
Right.
But like, I guess there really is much more to our relationships, to our being than just, I don't know, what's the mundaneness of it. And then you talk with so much passion about getting into that metaphysical being. And I'm like, I want to get there. I want that.
Yes.
Sounds like an acid
See?
trip.
It's
I want it.
it's more
It's kind
than-
of sexy, isn't it?
It is, and
Yeah.
it's more than our humanness. It's we and in our belief system, we believe that we are a spiritual being having a human experience, not the other way around. We're not humans having a spiritual experience. We're spiritual beings having a human experience.
Oh my God. My
So
third
we
eye.
are spirit.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, did it just open?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
squinting right
and
now.
if we all can if we all can stay connected on that level of spirituality, then we're all one. When we heal that and can connect there, then we can bring it down to our human experiences and heal the trauma and heal all the pain and have amazing relationships.
Oh my God. You don't hear this from straight people. To my audience, you're not going to
No.
No, no, you don't.
Oh my God. Leave it to the lesbians and the gays to show you what it's really like to have a good relationship.
Right?
And to how to
Yeah.
get raw dogged all to hell. No, I'm kidding. That's from me.
So while we were apart, we both started studying the same thing, not even realizing we were doing it. It was
We didn't even know.
crazy. You know, something came across my Facebook and it was a 40 days to more self-love. It just kind of popped into my Facebook feed because I was searching and I'm like, oh, I need more self-love. I need to love me so I can get myself out of this bed and stop feeling sorry for myself and being a victim of the world. And so I started doing this course, which brought me to A Course in Miracles, which is the metaphysical teaching that we study. And Stephanie walked into my door one day and, of course, found me in the bedroom because that's where I always was, in my bed. She was either picking up our son or dropping him off. And I don't know are you familiar with The Course in Miracles at all? Have you heard of the text?
No, I'd love to hear more about it.
It's about 1,500 pages, so it's quite,
ginormous.
It's a huge book. I mean, you could kill someone with the book.
I might.
She saw
Even
it
though
sitting,
nobody really dies.
right. She saw it sitting on my nightstand, and her jaw just dropped. Like, what are you doing with that book? Because, as Stephanie said, I was very much involved in Judaism and that in-the-box religion, and this was so out of the ordinary for me. And she had been studying it. And she was like, what are you doing with that book? And I'm like, oh, I love this thing. This is amazing. And she just looked at me like, who are you?
And then I walked out.
I was like, she didn't know what more to say.
I got nothing.
I can't even respond to that.
Yeah. I was like, in one way I was pissed off because why couldn't you have done this sooner? And then the other one was pissed off because how did you find my thing? Hey, come on, get out of my world.
That's mine. That's mine.
Jealous. Give me. That was me.
Yes.
It's my whole identity. No, and I understand that. That's so, like, wow. It's just the dedication to learning about yourself and how to, like, connect with your partner on a deeper, intimate level. Considering that you guys were in such a bumpy road in the stage in that stage of your relationship, that's so like I'm a little awestruck right now. Like, that is cool.
Oh, I think
I've never been able to do that. As the moment things get too hard, I'm like, I'm gonna move to another country. Bye. Like, that's
right.
And isn't that what
I
most
break
of
up.
us do?
Yup.
Yeah. We run. We run.
I've moved from the Midwest to New England to the Midwest, and I mean, I was all over the place. I'm a runner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. I've always been a runner.
Yeah. Avoidant attachment. I love it.
Yeah. But, you know, as I said, I hit that 45 mark and I was like, this is no way to live.
It's not.
And I don't want to be running the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So I started really doing the introspection because guess what? Guess who I always found when I landed? Me.
Oh, yeah. Yourself. You're always going to be there for you. For you.
But me was stupid. And it kept doing the same things over and over again, expecting different results.
But, like, why do we do that, though? Why do we keep doing the same bad shit to ourselves? Is it because we're comfortable?
Because we don't know any better.
Oh.
We haven't learned anything better.
Well, and I think there is some core soul wound that is We both believe that we are here on this planet to awaken to our highest self that we can in this incarnation. And there's some fundamental lesson that we need to learn.
Or many.
Or many. But there's probably, whatever you're working on right now, that's the one that you're supposed to be working on right now. So for me at that point, it was how to stay solid in myself, regardless of what was going on around me. It didn't mean be self-centered. It meant don't lose me.
And I had to learn that I wasn't a victim of this world, that I created my own reality. And how could I create a different reality for myself?
Oh my God, goosebumps. I'm getting goosebumps because we're all playing like this victim card that like, I'm trapped in this situation. I don't know what to do, but it's like, literally, babe, everything is a choice. Why don't you just make the right choice then?
Even if you don't make the right choice, know that you're just making a choice and you can make a different one.
Yeah.
Just like that.
To be a dumb bimbo like like me.
Yeah.
Every second of the day, we can make another choice.
Yeah. But we
to
choose
change our path.
But for whatever reason, we choose to like make the ones that we're comfortable with because that's our comfort zone, right? Like my
path
comfort
of
zone,
least resistance.
Exactly.
Right.
My comfort zone is that if I get a little too close to a man, my instinct is to run away rather than just like talking it out and like, like spilling my guts and my feelings. Ugh. I only do that to my therapist. Like, ugh.
Yes. God forbid you're actually seen.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like,
it's terrifying, isn't it?
I would rather shit in my hands and clap than to get close to a man. Like, ugh,
yeah.
That is, yeah.
So let me tell you one of the major, this changed me forever. When you start working on your spirituality in the way that Jennifer and I did, you start really connecting with stuff that's non-physical. You get messages from God, you get messages from angels,
spirit guides.
You really are getting, and you have a connected intuition. And one of the things that I started doing was when I was triggered, so when she got too close or something happened and I started feeling something, I named it. I'm like, ooh, I have a trigger. And I owned it. I'm like, ooh, I was just triggered. And this is what's coming up. I'm afraid. I'm angry. This reminds me of that. And I started naming it without blaming her. I just owned it. And so we could talk it out. And I could really look at what my real boo-boo was. Because there's obviously something happening in me. She stepped on a landmine that she didn't even know was there. And now I might explode, but I stopped exploding and just started naming.
Yeah. And you can't blame her for like not knowing your triggers. Because that's your triggers.
I didn't even know my triggers.
Yeah.
Do we know all of our triggers?
Hell no. No.
I know a couple of them. I know that there are certain smells, certain words that will just shoot me to the moon immediately. But there's all kinds of subtle ones. I don't even know they exist until they happen.
So now we're just paying really good attention and we talk it out. I mean, we believe that communication, boundaries, those are the key to having happy, healthy relationships.
We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Yes!
What's up, all you sick fucking perverts? Don't you just love love? The Love Shop has everything you need to feel the love in the air or in between your legs, wherever you want, really. They've got everything from vibrators, lubes, lingerie, and even full-sized sex dolls. Wow, I guess love really does come in all shapes and sizes. Visit loveshop.ca/sexedwithtim and use code SEXEDWithTim at checkout for 15% off the whole store. And the best part is that they ship all over Canada, US, and Ireland? To all my whores in Dublin, top of the morning to ya. That's loveshop.ca/sexedwithtim and checkout code SEXEDWithTim for 15% off the entire store. Now get to fucking. Do you like feeling sexy and looking sexy? Of course you do. Only my listeners are sexy as fuck. I have partnered with fetishwear designer Dale Kuda to bring you the hottest deals on custom jock straps, harnesses, hats, and more. Head over to dalekuda.com, that's DALEKUDA.com, and use code SEXEDWITHTIM at checkout for 25% off the entire store. Yeah, you heard me. 25% off. And cherry on top, free shipping. Oh my god. I have a few of the stuff that he has made for me, and girl, I'm wearing it right now. I'm wearing like a little jock strap so that I could easily just like slip a little butt plug or dildo every now and then here and there, and I'm on the train, I'm just like, thank you, Dale. That's dalekuda.com with the code SEXEDWITHTIM for 25% off your entire purchase with free shipping. With a deal like that, I swear I could come buckets, honey.
The show is about to begin.
Yes.
Oh my god, like, I will die before I ever set a boundary, honestly.
But actually, I'm going to suggest that you set really good boundaries. You know exactly how to keep people away.
That's a boundary.
That's true. So, I mean, okay, there is a difference between a boundary and a wall. Like, you know,
Yes.
you can't just like shut people out completely. So what does a good boundary look like versus a complete fucking wall?
Right. Well, let's call a wall what it is. It's a boundary on steroids. It's I've been hurt.
So I need to
don't
protect
you fucking dare come close to me.
I have to protect myself, so I'm putting up this wall.
Right.
Right.
So a boundary truly is what's okay and what's not okay with me. So when you know what that is, what's okay and what's not okay, then you know what's going to help you feel safe and what's going to not make you feel safe.
And when do we put up walls?
For me all the time. Oh my god.
Well,
When we
yes,
don't feel
but
safe.
because you don't feel safe.
Because you don't feel safe.
Never felt safe in my life.
Right.
Right.
So there's your difference. A wall is when
we
you're
might need to
totally
work
unsafe.
with you.
Yeah, you might need some of our coaching.
Trust me, gals. I need so much help. I don't know anything about maintaining a good, healthy relationship. I feel like I'm about to break into hives just thinking of an interdependent relationship. Like, I feel itchy. Ugh.
Yep. Yep.
And you just said the key word. We teach
Interdependence.
We teach interdependence because codependence is when you're so overlapped that you don't know who you are.
It's the lesbian merge.
Independent is when I come together with you because maybe we're going to have some sex every once in a while, but my life is over here and your life is over here. That's total independence.
Gay men's relationship.
A lot of gay men, right?
Yes, correct.
And then
100%
interdependent,
correct.
right? And then interdependent is when I can rely on you and you can rely on me, but I also exist outside of you. I still have my life and who I am. I spent so many years in my life where if you asked me what my favorite music was, I would tell you, I don't know. Because I was so busy liking what the other individual liked that I didn't even know what my like was. And that's just one example.
So, okay, codependence is relying on the other person. Independence,
You lose your sense of self.
Yeah, your sense of self and your autonomy. Whereas independence is just you. You don't need anyone else. You don't want anyone else.
Right. You might come together every once in a while to
in a
get
fleeting
together
moment. Yeah.
in a fleeting moment.
But you're really like you're
I have my house, you have your house.
Yeah. You're in your own
And let's
orbit.
get together and have dinner and maybe some sex one night.
Right. And then
we go on our merry way.
and then bye. So it was just, oh my God, I am an independent relationship guy. Oh God. But whereas interdependence is more of like, I am able to exist simultaneously inside and outside of this relationship. So yes, our orbits can overlap, but they don't need to clash. They can coexist.
They can coexist, and I can have my desires and likes. You can have yours. Stephanie has her hobbies, what she likes to do. She has her friends that sometimes she hangs out without me, and I don't get jealous over it, and vice versa.
Right, right. Which I feel like is kind of like a way more healthy point of view, or the way to live your relationship, than what I've been doing, which is just complete independence. Because for me, most of my trauma in my relationships has been from men. And it's not just romantically. Like, I have been touched inappropriately by friends and family. I have been sexually assaulted multiple times. So I think it's because of that trauma that's making me build up all these walls. So does that mean I'm just like bonding with guys because of my trauma? Is that what that is?
There can be a trauma bond to people. Absolutely. But that's not 100%. But that could be part of it.
My guess is that what you do is you keep yourself separate. You go on and on telling yourself that you are fine by yourself. And then you get uber lonely and you want to connect with possible. So whoever shows up next looks really good for a minute. You hook up. It's probably incredibly intense. And then you get in and you get scared.
Get terrified.
And you run.
And you run.
Yep. That is me.
And it just revolves over and over and over again.
It's that constant wanting of like novelty, that high of whatever's new, at consistently adding spice to your
because
life.
when you're in novelty, your brain chemicals, it's like it's all the endorphins are running. You have no fear in that moment because you're just full of endorphins. It's almost a bipolar moment, you know, on all of the neurochemicals that are coursing through your body. As soon as those wear off, because you can't sustain it. Your brain cannot manufacture enough neurochemicals to keep you feeling that kind of lust for very long.
Those chemicals in your brain from the novelty is like giving you that high, and once it wears off, it's on to the next high. And that's so
exactly
sad. It's like, I have seen so many documentaries, and like scientists have said that like lust kind of gives off the same signals in your brain, much in the way that like a coke addict is activated.
Yes,
like
exactly.
Wow, that is
right.
So
you become addicted to the lust.
For lack of a better word, we'll call it that.
Yeah. You're
but
just
the high of the novelty.
Yeah. Oh my God. And that sounds like such a difficult process to break out from. What's like the first thing that you tell your clients, like, all right, let's figure out how to get out of that cycle? How do you walk them
Stop.
through that?
Stop doing it.
Stop.
Cold
Stop
turkey, eh?
dating.
Ooh.
Stop dating.
Cold turkey. Just be done. For a little while.
And focus just on yourself.
Yes. You focus on self-love. If that means that, you're a sex ed expert.
Yeah.
We can get off with masturbation the same way we can get off with a guy.
Or a gal if you're lesbian.
So you focus on self-love and going beyond the physical.
And heal those wounds.
Right.
And do you have some friends, Tim? Like good?
A little too many friends, to be quite honest. Friends.
Okay.
Not friends with benefits. Friends.
Oh, okay. I mean,
people who you trust.
Yes, I have like a couple.
That's where you begin to practice. Really allowing yourself to be close
to those individuals.
Right. Vulnerability.
And doing the work to heal the wounds. Somatic experiencing is one of the areas that we do a lot of work on. And what the theory behind somatic experiencing is that every experience that you've had in your life is stored in your cells. So those traumas that you spoke about, they're in there. It's not in your brain. It's not in your thoughts. It's in your body. And so when you get close to someone, those cells start saying, oh, danger.
Danger, Will Robinson.
And you start having that fight, flight, freeze response. And so the work that we do is helping you disconnect or bring back down your fight, flight, freeze into a place where you can think again. Because fight, flight, freeze and fawn, which is the fourth one, you are living from your brainstem, not from your frontal lobe. which is where your thinking is. So when you're in freeze or fight, you're living purely from reaction. It's just, what do I want to say? It's not reaction. It's instinct.
Instinct.
Instinct. And the instinct is to run.
That's why I say
fight.
it's like our reptilian brain. It's instinct.
Right.
Yes.
And so what we do is we work with you to get back into your frontal lobe.
Where you make human
rational
decisions.
Right.
decisions.
And you're
yeah,
reasoning.
Rational thought again.
Rational thought.
And when you can recognize when you've moved into the reptilian brain and then use the exercises that we prescribe to come back into your mammalian brain, you can overcome
Those
urges,
responses.
those
Right.
first reactions.
I love that, but I want to also like ask about the premarital coaching, because like what else is there to coach on when you're already ready to walk down the aisle? Are you raising the important questions like, how do I know if he's really the one, or like those pre-wedding jitters or something?
No. Do you know what the prevalence is of divorce in the first 2 years of marriage?
What is it?
It's ridiculous. I don't
It's
even
more
have
than
it.
50%.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
I mean,
yeah.
yeah. So what we do is we go through all the things that we believe are so important to iron out. And like, who are you really? Who are you without this person? And what do you truly value about each other? What are your basic values?
Ooh.
Like personal values, not money or things. What are your personal values?
Right.
And how do you appreciate the other person's personal values, even if they're not aligned?
How do you communicate, especially when you may have something that you're not agreeing on? How do you do that?
Because like if you're like married, you're gonna have to make some pretty big life decisions, and some of those decisions you're gonna butt heads, like where to live, or how to split finances, or what if one spouse wants kids and the other one doesn't? Oh my god, that's so terrifying. Do you put them through that ringer? Like, all right, we're gonna do a test
we
rate.
do.
Holy shit. That's so scary.
But then what, how are you going to handle grief? How are you going to support each other?
You don't.
You don't.
You do as many drugs as you want and have as much random anonymous sex as you want.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. That's my advice, not for listeners. That's
That
me
is not
talking.
Enchanted
That's
Awakenings advice, folks.
Yeah.
Please.
No, please.
Unless, of course, you believe in... Unless you have an open marriage and polyamory.
But it has to be by agreement.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is like you can't just be like, I guess we're getting married and this is it. Like we've made it this far into a relationship. There is nothing else to work on. We're good, right?
We work on this stuff daily.
Yes.
Yeah.
We work on this daily with each other because we have to keep our relationship good.
And let me, I just qualify that a little bit. When we say work on it, we're not efforting. We're not sitting down and doing worksheets or anything. We're just paying attention to how things are going and how we're interacting. And if we need to have a conversation, we have a conversation. So it's not like we are like suffering through this. It's just like, oh, I just got triggered and I shut down. And now that I'm not shut down, can we talk about what happened? Because I want you to understand me, and I want you to know that it wasn't about you. Or maybe it was about you.
Yeah.
So what can we do so maybe this doesn't happen again?
Right. But most of the time, I feel like that's more of an internal thing, right? It's never really about not never. It's not normally about the other person, but rather those kinds of conflicts come from inside.
So much of the time.
So much of
the time. That's why we developed this like trigger response technique, because it really, you begin to notice what's happening inside of you rather than being externally focused.
Right.
It's the external focus that really gets us into trouble, because we only see each other as separate people, not as a unified force. And we're stuck in that.
And that's a lot of times where that victim mentality comes in.
You did this to me. Well, guess what? In that statement, I become a victim.
And you become the perpetrator.
Yeah, and it's like you're casting blame onto someone that doesn't deserve it whatsoever.
Right.
And how the heck are you going to get through that conversation when you've already been pointing fingers at somebody?
Yeah, oh my God.
Right.
That doesn't allow for openness and discussion.
Oh, yeah, no, it just allows for more attacks. Like,
And it makes you shut down.
Yeah, and you don't get anywhere. There's no productivity in a conversation that's always like, you always do this to me, you always do that to me. And it's like, all right, but what are the solutions? Let's move forward from here. How do we make this better for us?
And we teach people to never use never or always in your comments, in your statements, because is there anything that you always do or anything that you never do?
Right.
I will.
So always
Except when you leave the cap off the toothpaste, and then I want to murder you.
Oh my God. Honestly, the moment I see you like pumping the toothpaste from the middle rather than the bottom, it's over. It's over. Red flags everywhere. Or
well,
like,
I'm glad you know what the red flags are, sweetheart.
or if you install like the tissue paper the wrong side, oh my God.
Oh, he's going to talk about the toilet paper, isn't
the
he?
toilet paper the wrong way, right?
Yeah, there's only one correct way, and that's if the flap is in front of you, not behind towards the wall. No,
correct.
You do not do it that way.
I have almost gotten thrown out on a regular for that.
She used to at the beginning would just flip the toilet paper around.
Oh, I still do. You did not know that?
Behind your back in secret.
Every time I used to, she got on it for at one point. I was just, every time I went to the bathroom, I flipped it.
And every time I went in there, I'd turn it back around.
And every time I'd go in and flip it again. Talk about passive aggressive,
Yeah, that's so passive ag. Oh my God. Like small little things like that I could never tolerate, which is why I will never be in a healthy relationship. No, I'm kidding.
Don't say never.
Obviously. I know. Okay. I will never find a no, kidding.
Okay.
I'll find someone. I will never be toxic. How about that? I will.
There you go.
I make a vow or a promise to myself to work on myself. And if I ever get into a relationship, I promise to always work on that with him. Is that correct?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yay, I'm ready to get married. Hi.
You're ready.
Before we sign off, can you please make like a butt and plug away anything you want the audience to find?
We are Enchanted Awakenings. Our website is enchantedawakenings.love, and you can find all of our social media there. And give us some love. Come join our Facebook group where we will touch base with you every Thursday night, and we will all get to know each other, and we will drop some fabulous knowledge to you every week.
Yay!
Absolutely.
I love it. And thank you for all the listeners that have made it this far into this chaotic ass conversation. I'll put all of their resources in the show notes. Please don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show. And you're supporting queer content. And what's better than queer content? I doubt that there's anything better than that. So
Nothing.
Exactly. Nothing is better than a bunch of gays and lesbians having a kiki. So, I wish you all good night, and I will see you at the next episode. Mwah! Thanks for listening to the Sex Ed with Tim podcast. Sex Ed with Tim is created and produced by me, Tim Lagman. Music is Aces High by Kevin MacLeod. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at GaySlutClown and at Sex Ed with Tim. You can also like and follow me on the Sex Ed with Tim Facebook page. If you enjoyed the show, please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for all your support, you dirty little slut. Mwah.